is my May TBR video, and there's a lot going on in May. I am not doing the Asian Readathon this year. I am not doing a lot of things, okay? I'll just tell you what I am doing and not worry about what I'm not doing. I don't want to do the same things every year, but sometimes. Like I did the Asian Readathon 2 years in a row, and that's kind of enough because I don't even think I have enough Asian books on my TBR right now to do it again, which is fine. I am planning to do a book a day in May with Lizzie Loves Books. However, there is no way in this creation that I am going to be able to do a book a day in May, as in reading that fast, because I'm just a slow reader. I can't read that fast. No way. No, I can't do that. So she gave some nice alternatives this year, and one of them is that you can do a book review a day, and I think I could do that. And then the other thing is that you can do an Instagram picture every day, something about a book. So I'm thinking that I'm going to do a book review every day, maybe some Instagram pictures. My book reviews are on 4 different places. It's either going to be on my blog, at Amazon, at Goodreads, or on YouTube. So I won't be doing a book review on YouTube every day, but I might be doing some of them during the month of May. And like yesterday was the 1st of May, and I did my book review at Amazon. So eventually I would like to have every book reviewed in all 4 places. And I made myself a chart to try and get this done. And basically what I am doing right now are book reviews of Newbery books. Those are the only ones I'm doing, and it was kind of, one of my original plans when I started my YouTube channel back in 2013 to do book reviews on YouTube that people could use on their web pages when they wanted to feature a certain book, and because I've done that before in my web page writing days. So book reviews are in this month for me. And then I did the Booktube spin, but I didn't make a video with my 20 books, but I did list 20 books privately. And the book that was chosen in the Booktube spin is The White Stag by Seredy. And that was a Newbery Medal winner, and I can't remember what year, but it was a long time ago, and I'm thinking 1938. I'm not quite sure of that. I am going to be participating in the Mere Christianity Readalong. That's by C.S. Lewis, and that is being done with Books and Jam. And there's a couple of Newbery books that I have on my list for the Newbery Variety Challenge at Goodreads that I am participating in that I would like to get to this month. One of them is A Wish in the Dark. I wanted to read it in April, but I didn't have time, so I'm hoping to read it in May. And the other one is Bomb. It's a non-fiction book about, a bomb. So, one other thing I am participating in is the Mitford Readalong. It's a year in Mitford, and I will be reading the 5th book in the series, which is A New Song by Jan Karen, or Caron, whatever her name is. I still haven't done my research. Now, on Facebook, I participate in the Prayerful Planner Facebook group because I bought a Prayerful Planner for this year. And one of the ladies there said that she wanted to do a separate group called Give It All to God, and it's all about a 40-day sugar fast starting May 1st. So I got the book on order. It should be here in maybe 2 days. And I started kind of fasting. I didn't abandon all foods containing sugar because that is so hard to do. There are so many foods, like even tomato sauce, if you read the label, a lot of them have sugar in them. I haven't gone that far yet, but I did get rid of a few little treats that I was kind of eating that had a lot of sugar in them, like, okay, I've been on a diet for a while now, and I've lost some weight, yay, but I was eating, like, for a treat, maybe a small amount of chocolate morsels that you would put, like, in chocolate chip cookies and things like that, so I cut those out of my diet, and I will just have to do my best to cut more sugar out. The problem that I'm really having is that I don't eat much sugar to begin with. So it's hard for me to cut some out when I don't have much that I can give up. I don't ever eat just plain sugar. I haven't bought that in so many years. I haven't had a soda in years. I just don't consume that kind of thing. But there is still some sugar in my diet, and I'm going to try and weed it out and get rid of it for 40 days. And so, of course, there's the book that goes with it. It's sort of like a devotional kind of book, and there's a journal that goes with it, and I got them both, so a new adventure. Now, there is a Christian group that I joined on Goodreads, and they had some monthly group books they had picked out, and one of them was this Mistaken Identity, and I happened to get a copy. So this book is a Christian book. All the people who wrote it were Christians, but it's basically about a terrible tragedy that took place. Some young people at a university in Michigan, I think it was Michigan, were in an automobile accident, and like out of 5 young students in the group, 4 of them were killed. And then there were some food service employees, and one of those was killed in this car crash. A semi went across the divider and hit them head on. So one student survived, and she was taken to the hospital in very bad condition, and they called the wrong set of parents because 2 of these students looked very much alike. And they called the wrong set of parents, and so they sat by her bedside thinking it was their daughter for months, or at least weeks. I think it was 6 weeks. And then finally they had her write her name. They wanted her to write her name, and they expected her to write, I think it was Lauren, and instead she wrote Whitney. So it wasn't their daughter that survived, it was somebody else's daughter. And they had already thought they had buried their daughter. So, terrible situation, but it's a Christian book, and I want to read and find out what gave them hope and peace through this terrible tragedy. So there's a Dante read-along. I'm participating in that, and I am reading at this time Inferno. The whole group has supposedly gone on to read Purgatorio by this point, and I'm still reading Inferno. I'm a little bit slow, I guess. Now then, there's a Pop Sugar Reading Challenge. I'm still doing that, and there's quite a few books that I would like to read for the Pop Sugar Reading Challenge. I don't know if I will have time for them this month. But in case I do, well, one of them I've already started. It is for the prompt of reading a book, a dark academia book. It took me a while to figure out what dark academia books were all about. Well, I chose a classic called A Separate Piece by John Knowles. And I'm audio reading that. Okay, another one is a bestseller from the 1990s, and I chose The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Goskind. And never read it before, so I thought this would be a good time besides that it's quite short, and I think when I'm reading a lot of books for a challenge, a short book is a real advantage. Another book I already have a copy of is a book about forgiving, no, not that, a book about forgetting. And I chose Restart by Gordon Corman. I'm not going to read through the whole list because I honestly don't think I'm going to have time for all of these. Another one I'm probably going to read in May is a book with a black and white cover, and I chose Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom. I know it's a bit weird. I've never read it before. I hope I don't hate it, but I guess we'll find out this month whether I hate it or not. So, just looking at the list, I'm just going to pass over the rest of the titles because I don't think I'm going to get to them, but if I do, I'll tell you about it next month when I do my wrap-up video, should I be so lucky as to do another one. Now then, still reading. The World Rushed In, George Washington's World. Oh no, that one I'm done with. So I'm still reading The World Rushed In, Organic Gardening, Permaculture, We Dream of Space, What Hearts, Mistaken Identity, and I'm reading 4 more Ramona books. And also I am reading as a devotional The Imitation of Christ by Thomas A. Kempis. I'm reading another Christian book called The Kneeling Christian. And I'm reading with a friend locally a book called Stop Calling Me Beautiful about, well, it's a woman who went to some Bible studies or women's conferences, and they were telling her how beautiful she was to God. And she didn't want to hear that. She wanted to have something a little bit more solid, as in the Word of God. So she wrote a book about it, and I'm going to be reviewing that probably on my Christian channel in about a month when I get done reading it. So that is it for my TBR for May 2021. And I hope you're going to have a good reading month, and that just thank you for joining me and visiting my local waterfall. I think this is called Wyman Falls. And it's been a long time joy to me to be able to come to this place to just relax. And to be honest, I've never seen as much water in that pond as there is right now. Usually I can walk out all the way to where the falls are, and now it's like a lake. So I'll show it to you more before I get done with this video. Thanks for listening. This is across the street from the falls.